Hello, I'm Archibald Chesterfield III. I'm the method actor who plays Poor Pluta, and today we're on the Poor Pluta channel, and I'm doing paid watch reviews. Don't do shit for free. Remember to like, subscribe, tell your friends. Reviews are $20 US. You want to ask a question, it's $10 US, and I take personal phone calls for $50 US an hour. I've got fridge space, although I'm going to start using the fridge. It'll be appearing in videos very soon. And this is from Gilbert. And Gilbert goes, "Hi Arch, I enjoy your channel. Thanks for taking the effort. Do not use my surname in response, but you're welcome to use my given name, Gilbert. Thank you. I've sent you $40 Australian to your PayPal account for the vid. Please, the vid, I want it titled Rolex Terminology. Please explain some of the common terminology seen in Rolex ads for sale, such as SEL versus non-SEL. What's the difference? Which is more desirable from the collector's point of view? Does it really matter? Advantages, disadvantages of SEL. And what is an SEL? SEL is, no, it's not a Mercedes-Benz. No. This is the bracelet. It refers to solid end links. Solid end links. And basically, this is a situation where that last whole part there is a solid part. This came out in the I believe it was the in the steel watches in the Sea Dweller. It came out in the Sea Dweller firstly. The President had solid end links, and that's in gold, of course, but Sea Dweller, and then it came across the range. And what's my view? What's more, solid end links versus non-solid? So the other end links, so they have a separate bit of metal. Rattly rattlesnakes. That's what they remind me of. Which is more desirable? Look, generally speaking, the solid end links, we're talking sapphire. This is when we can get both versions, because the vintage pieces, you know, your plastic, they're worth a fortune. So, you know, you want those bracelets are fantastic. But what's better on a sapphire piece? Well, I do prefer the solid end links. Then the bracelets then became no holes case, and they had a little thing inside here which you adjusted to take the bracelet off. So I think generally the solid end link bracelet is better. This is the consensus. What's more desirable from a collector's point of view? Well, it's originality. Depends on the watch. I mean, if the watch came with a solid end link, you want a solid end link. If it didn't, you know, I think originality is more important than anything. The advantages, well, the solid end links are more substantial, solid. They don't rattle when the watch gets a bit older. The disadvantages, well, the holes case I think was better. It's easier to take the bracelet on or off. But that's not a solid end link issue. That's a holes case issue, another issue altogether. So generally speaking, I think it doesn't really matter, but you want the right bracelet for the right watch. That's more important. Oh, number 2, holes case versus no holes. What is more desirable for the collector? Very, very good point there. Yes. So my Explorer 2, this is a Explorer 2 from the noughties, 2000, and when did they change? I think 2002 onwards. And it's got the no holes. So generally speaking, the more newer watches are more valuable, but there's nothing wrong. I actually like the holes case because it's easier to take the bracelet off and put a NATO on, put a leather strap on. You got more. I like to fuck around with these things. These are harder to take on or off. So what's more desirable for the collector? Generally speaking, the no holes in Asia, they're so fucking fashion conscious. They want the latest and greatest and da-da-da-da-da-da. So the no holes tend to command a little bit of a premium. I personally, I don't think it really fucking matters. I think you want a nice, honest watch. And this one came up at a great price. There's no holes, fantastic. Actually, I did want the no holes. Did I want it? It was a clincher on the deal. It clinched the deal. It was in good nick, and it had, you know, I love this piece. But generally speaking, the no holes ones are slightly more valuable. But again, horses for courses. certain ones, you know, the plastic subs, the plastic explorers, they're worth a lot more than this anyhow, and they were a Holes case. Okay, next question there is, you've got the T25, which appears at the 6 o'clock there. What is more desirable? Sorry, T25 that appears at the 6 o'clock on some Rolexes. What does that mean? It's a different type of loom. The loom. And my one actually has Swiss made there because they're using a different type of loom. It's the loom, fuckers. The loom. I'm actually going to make a video just on the loom. So I'm just going to, I'm going to skip that question. The next question is, Luminova and Supernova, what the hell? I'll explain the loom in a separate video. So we're going to give him 2 videos. Next question is also, please discuss the Rolex 14060 and the 14060M. If you decide between them, which would you go for and why? Is there much difference? So we're talking no-date subs. No-date submariners. And this is, I've always loved the no-date. They brought out a new version, the 14060M, had a revised movement. To be honest with you, I always buy any of those Rolexes are super cool. Doesn't really matter, okay? Doesn't really matter. They're both cool. Which would I go for? I always buy the condition, and it's got to be a certain price. I'm not going to pay fucking over the odds just so that, you know, I want condition and price. So, which is better? Again, it's like the no holes case. Doesn't really matter. I mean, the watch is still basically the same. So, in my opinion, look for a good example. That's much more important than whether it's an M or not. So, that's my view there. Last question, he goes on there. Please discuss the 4-line 14060 versus the 2-line 14060. It seems the 2-line is missing the words chronometer, officially certified. Is the 2-line a cheaper version? Is either version more desirable from the collector's point of view? Again, first world problems for Rolex collectors. Yes, they certain models of Rolex, they didn't get certified. It was cheaper. Made the watch a bit cheaper to do. But then Rolex said, well, we're a really luxury brand. We'll certify everything. Does it make much difference? Well, to be honest with you, the watches that weren't certified were usually just the same and just as good. So Rolex's stuff is so it's like a Mercedes-Benz. They're just, everything is perfect. Well, we're talking pre-Chrysler Mercedes-Benz. We're talking W126s, because we certainly wouldn't talk about these W210 shitters now, would we? So with the 2-line versus the 4-line, some people like the 2-line more because it's more aesthetically pleasing. The dial is simpler, cleaner, nicer. Other people like the 4-line because it's the supposedly tested movement. What do I think? I really think this is a first world dilemma, isn't it? It's one of these questions. Rolex is so good. Rolex no date is so good. Does it matter? Not really indeed. So yes, it's a very interesting questions he's thrown at me. And he goes on to say, I spoke to him a couple of months ago and that we discussed an Omega Speedmaster Man on the Moon. Thanks for doing that, very decent. However, now veering towards a 14060 rather than a Man on the Moon. Reason? I'm not sure if manual wind is really for me. Ooh, that's a bit harsh because I gotta be honest with you. The 2 watches I really love in my collection are the Explorer 2, the 16570, and my Omega Speedmaster Man on the fucking Moon. I love both those pieces. They complement each other. So I would say to you, you know, maybe get an Explorer. They're great bang per buck. The subs, ooh, they're expensive. I don't think they're great value at the moment, you know, and what am I to know? It's whatever floats your boat. And the good thing is, if you bought your Omega Speedmaster Man on the fucking Moon pre-owned, you won't have lost terribly much money. So, yeah. So, there we go there. I hope that helps. I'll make another video on the loom. I'm ArchieLuxury. Tell me what you fuckers think of that. First world problems for Rolex collectors. It's sort of like saying, what do you prefer, a Batman or a black GMT? What does it really matter? Anyhow, I hope I've answered those questions. It was a good discussion. But all these Rolexes are so good. So don't be swayed off one way or the other. ArchieLuxury signing out. Unless it's a Batman, of course. Batman! No, Batman!